Can you hear me now? I'm glad I didn't go 18 minutes with that freaking problem, because that would have been a disaster. You should be able to hear me now. I guess that's why I did. Okay, we're going to play a little sound clip here because Rick did a bump blump. But I'm dumb. Yeah, and laugh at me too. Right. Must be his first time. Yeah. Yep. First time for everything. Every so often, don't know why, but for some reason, OBS likes to forget which microphone I have, and it selects nothing. I don't have my water. I know it's somewhere. Don't know where, but I got nothing to drink. That's great. Okay, so I did Bill Hawk 65. Welcome. Thanks for coming in, bud. First time I'm seeing you around here. I hope you enjoy the show. I'm going to make a fool of myself tonight. I'm just here to see Rita. Aren't we all, Rusty? Aren't we all? So, this week, again, it's the beginning of summer, and thankfully, baseball season is now over. And I'll have a lot more time now because the kids are out of school. Last day of school was on Tuesday. Last baseball game was on Tuesday. But I didn't get a chance at all to work on the model. I took this weekend off and I just relaxed. Didn't really want to do. Oh, no, wait. This past weekend I had the kids. This upcoming weekend, this weekend is when I don't have the kids. So I'm lying to you already, and I just started the show. Rick, it's a common thing. No sound at the beginning of live shows. Yeah. I don't know what it is. And you know what? I sat down. I was actually surprised this week today. Jen actually allowed me to have the kids for dinner tonight. So it was a real quick dinner. I picked them up after work, brought them home. I made some tacos. They loved the tacos. I loved the tacos. Tacos were good. And then I had to rush them back home so I can come here and be with you guys. So I was trying to fiddle getting everything together. I hope I got everything together. The cows came back and we can heard you now. That's a great one, Ray. I love that. So I was rushing to get everything together, and then that's when I realized, there's some stuff that I think I might have promised you that I was going to do over the last week, and I didn't get to any of it. I didn't do any of it. So we're gonna pick up where we left off last week. We were painting those little thingies. I don't know if I'm gonna paint those little thingies, but I was able to really quickly do a couple things before you guys before we came live, and you actually caught me in the middle of doing something when I saw the time and it said 8 o'clock. Give me just a second because I really do need my water. Hang on. I'll be right back. All right, got the water. Now we're hydrated. Sounds good. Okay, so as I said, I was fixing up, doing some things, getting those little parts, some of them finished. I was able to glue a couple of them on. So I think we're just going to continue with that. We're going to do some of these little fine touches. And I just realized why it was dark, because I didn't put on any of my lights. Ta-da, there's one. Hey. We're getting bright around here. Somehow or another. I hate that one. We're going to figure this all out eventually. So I got, we're going to do the little fiddly parts and get some of them on there. And then we'll go from there. I don't know. By the end of this day, we might have a new kit. We might not. But let's see how it goes. But I know you're not just here just to see me. So why don't we get the lady of the hour up here, whom you all have come to see, because I'm not the important one here, but Rita is. Here she comes.
Yeah.
Gotta love Rita. She is the best. All right, let's I'll tell you what, let's get some of the formalities out of the way, and then we'll get over to the workbench and find out exactly what's going on. Real quickly, let's do the easy part. Let's jump over to the participants screen here, and we'll see who is here. So this is a list that YouTube keeps of everybody that is in the chat. Rusty says, I can go now. Nice. This is a list of everybody that's in chat. If your name is not on here, it means one of two things. Either you haven't said anything recently or you haven't said anything at all. So please just drop a comment down in the chat so people know you're here. Everybody in there will say hello to you. I will say hello to you, and you'll get recognized. Seems to be a short list tonight. Usually is on Friday nights. So let's just run through it real quick. We've got Almar in the house. Welcome, Al. It's good to see you here. Bill Hawk 65. Again, nice to see you. I'm not sure. I'm going to guess and say your name is Bill. So we'll go with Bill. Let everybody know where you're from so they know exactly, where in the country you're at. And I'm sure they'll tell you where they're at. Deep Run Mike is in the house. Dan from Dan's Model Railroad Journey is here. Welcome, Dan. Of course, I'm in the house. Grandpa Rails is here. Good to see you, my friend. Joe Rader from the Block Rock Central is here. And this guy here, that's Dwight Curly Express. I believe him and Greg were the first ones in here earlier this evening. So I'll give them both a cookie. That works for me. Lynn McCurdy is in the house from that really long railroad name that I can never remember. But check out his channel. He's got great videos, and you can find out what all that means. Greg from the Midsummer Railway N Scale is here. That's the guy I was just talking about. Welcome in, Greg. Bob from PK&W Model Works. Bob is here. Rusty from Possum Bayou is in the house. Ray Bertelson is also here. Welcome in, Ray. Ron Moen is in the house. Welcome, Ron. Good to see you. Thomas Grassi showed up tonight. Thanks for being here, Tom. Wigwag Workshop is here, or as I lovingly contact him as 3-Dub. And coming up at the bottom of the list, beating out 3-Dub, is Willow Creek Brad. Welcome in, Brad. Good to have you here. I think somebody jumped in because I saw this thing blip a couple times. Ron Montag is here. He just popped in. Good to see you, Ron. Let's just flip up the top here. Chessie Systems Clip Fan is now here. Good to see you. We couldn't start the show without you. Let's see. Anybody else popping in? No, we'll keep that. We'll just keep it rolling for a little bit and see how it goes. Let's jump over to the schedule and see what's going on. So last week, John was up. This week, this upcoming Sunday on the 14th, that's 2 days from now, you're going to see me again in 2 days right here on the Rick Bailey channel for the Fultz Bailey Model Railroad. I'm going to do Sidetrack Sunday. No idea what I'm going to be doing. Whether we get done this kit or not, or if we move on to something else, we'll find out by the end of tonight's show. Coming up next week is going to be Bob over at PK&W Model Works. And then right after that, following up at the end of the month, is going to be Ray Boebel. If you guys haven't checked it out, over in the description of this video is all of those guys' links. Check them out and make sure you subscribe to their channel. I'm also going to pop those links up in chat. They're going to come up in a minute. Make sure you click on those and check those guys out. They've all got great videos. They all do the Sunday night show, and they all do a great job at it. What you don't see here on the list are the two guys that we don't have a Sunday show for this month, and that's Dave, DB Tech, and Brian over at the Iron Horse Route. Again, their links are over in the chat. I guess the chat is that way, and the schedule is that way. There you go. So there's that. Let's jump over to the side cam here, and I'll show you some stuff that we got going on. As I said, I just started working here, doing some things while you guys were there we go. Oh, you see that little dot right there? Right there? That's actually a light behind my green screen. Behind me, there's a fish tank with a turtle in it, and that's his light. I was wondering what that little white dot was, and then it clicked in my head. See, you figure out these little cool things that happen that you don't even know exist. That should go out in a few minutes because it's set to go off, I think, at like 8:15 or so. You're going to see. I want y'all to pay attention to that little dot. When that dot goes away, you got to let me know, okay? Everybody, let me get my mouse over here. I'm just rambling at this point. I got nothing. My desk is a mess. We'll get down there in a second. But I did. All right, so here is the model. And I forgot that I can't show you this up there. Oh, I can. It's gonna, it didn't fade out too bad. So I got the little mailbox put on the side and I put the little trash can down there in the corner. So we got a couple more things that we need to get onto this guy in order to get him complete. We still got to put that little armature, or what do you call that thing that, oh, it'll come to me. The thing that holds the crane. That's got to go up the top. We've got a couple different smokestacks and chimneys and things, and we still have to paint that pallet that we have. That's gotta go on there. And yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to do. So let's get to it. Where's my mouse? Because I can't find that. Oh, there we go. All right, cool, awesome. Anybody say anything really cool in chat? Looks like everybody gonna need shades. Yeah. I get all these lights just to make myself visible. The problem is if I don't, and I was wondering why when I was working here before we went live, like why it was so dark and why I couldn't see what I was doing. And now it turns out that my side lights weren't on, and now I've got all the lights in the world. And even with that, I still need the LEDs that are on my shades. So go figure. The brightest thing in lights. Yeah, thanks. Oh, I gotta watch that. I definitely gotta watch that. Because I was trying to do that a couple years ago when I had my old layout, and I couldn't figure that out for the life of me. So I'll have to definitely check that out. How do you share the participants on screen? Okay, so what I do, I use OBS, and if you go into, let me check, I have a share screen thing set up, but I don't think it's in desktop view. Okay, so there's no way that I can show it to you on the screen. Is there? There is. I can half-ass this. Hold on a second. What I'll do is I'm gonna use the shaky cam, and I'll show you. Let's go to no, because once I use the shaky cam, I can't change the screen. All right, I'll try and explain this to you the best I can. If you, in OBS, if you create a scene, and in that scene, add an object that is, I have to jump over there. Hang on. Let's go back to the participants for a minute. You add a screen. The object is, I believe it's a browser window. Hold on, I'll find the icon in a second. It's a square. Oh, it's a window capture. In OBS, it's called a window capture. You set up the window capture and you tell it to look at a specific browser window. So what I do is before my show begins, I go into my actual show, and over where the list is, or over where the chat list is, there's a little dot. I can't show it to you. Right next to participants. Here, I can do it this way. This is the chat window that you normally see, right? Over here on this three little dot, there's an option for participants. That's what I click on. So as long as this window is being shared in your OBS, that's what's going to show up on the side of the screen. And all I did was put my camera in there and that window, and that's how you see them both. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. back over here to side cam because I know I'm behind in chat a lot. I'm heading to the train room. I'll watch you on the TV there. Awesome. You're probably there already. I love how you always say my name wrong. I will now refer to myself as Chessie Systems Clip Fan. Chessie System and Clippy Fan. Okay. I'll try and remember that. That's Barry. I think that's Barry. Somebody said, hi, Barry. FVRC. Farmington Valley RC. Scott said, hi, Barry. So that's not Barry, but he's saying hi to Barry. Barry Olson. Okay, so we're getting further here. Welcome, Barry Olson. So now I got to find Barry Olson. Barry Olson. I am very seldom comment. Definitely comment. Barry, welcome in. Thank you for being here. All the people you just sub to all the people you link to. Awesome. I'm sure they're going to appreciate it. Cool. Some new channels to check out. Yeah. I am so far back in chat. I'm like 4 minutes behind. I'm trying to... Rick, got you the big screen right now. There we go. All right, cool. My fish tanks will be going tonight. Yep, nighttime soon. Yep. Now they're asking him how many tanks he has. I only have the one. Do you think anyone could be further behind than Crooked Dave? Oh, yeah, I've seen Crooked Dave on his Thursdays. He gets well back there. Yeah. Yep. Okay. The building. Let's get to the building. All right, so... where we left off, we were playing around. We were doing these little guys and getting them all painted up. Let's do that. Rick, where are you? I am. Are we talking about location? Because I could tell you, I am neither here nor there. My brain is never where it wants to be. But physically, location, I am like 10 minutes east. No, I'm 10 minutes west of the Philadelphia airport. So the little town that I am in, or the little county that I'm in, is Delaware County. It is right south of Philadelphia. Like I said, 10 minutes from the Philadelphia airport. You will often see, sometimes I will post videos on this channel of me and my kids sitting behind the airport watching the planes as they take off or land. Where's the point? There's no point. I never have a point. I forgot to mention what building Heath, I mean, Rick. What building Heath, I mean, Rick. I don't know what that means. Rail Artist is in the house. Welcome, Rail Artist. Good to see you. Hello to all. Bob was putting some furniture together today from IKEA. It's too hot to be outdoors. It's too hot. Yeah, too hot here. Definitely. All right. I've just spent 20 minutes rambling, and we haven't even done anything. Let's get down to the workbench, because that's where the magic happens. Now I got to find the button. Why am I all of a sudden drawing a blank? Oh, Droid Cam. That's right, because we're going with the phone. All right, here's phone cam. All right, so this is what we are working on. We got these little parts. We started. Can we get some focus here? Anytime, camera. All right, maybe I got to do this and then the focus. There we go. All right, so there's one of the little chimneys that I still have to get on there. That was the trash can that we painted. That was the mailbox. We still got to finish the cinder block pallets. We got this little guy that's got to get on there too. I think we said we were going to do those black. And then this chimney is what I was working on. I had to do a couple more coats of the red paint. And then what I started to do, which didn't come out at all, was I was trying to put in a some gray, like a gray wash to see if I could get those mortar lines to come up. But it didn't work out as well as I wanted to. You can see there is some residue of gray paint on there. but it didn't come out as well as I want. So I got to work on that. I might just continue with the gray wash and just make it look a little more grayish and figure that out. Also, I did notice the last time we were playing with this, that angle that it's cut there is not the angle that is on that roof. So I got to figure that out as well. And I think it needs to be steeper. So what did let's zoom in here. Whoop. What did we decided? I know we decided we were going to leave these bricks that color. But I think we said we were going to do, we were going to paint the skid, normal wood color, which I got to figure out what normal wood color is. I think the closest thing that I have that's going to be a wood color, would be a deep yellow. And then maybe go over that with some yellow ochre and try and get that. Or actually, the yellow ochre might be good enough. And then do like a black wash to make it look a little older. I think we might just do that. So we'll keep that out. We'll put the other one back. But as far as these guys, this guy and this guy, I believe you guys said go black. And I'm not 100% sure that I just want to go straight black with those. I was thinking of doing a wash, not necessarily a wash, but I know I have a not permanent black. I've got, if I can find it. Yeah. Payne's gray. If you dilute this down enough and put it on top of that gray, it comes out looking like, I don't know how to describe it. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Not too much. Wow. This thing doesn't know its way between halfway and not. Little less. There we go. This thing, if you dilute it down, I'm not going to do that much because do you ever see the like a video on YouTube where someone heats up some Heath will take 20 minutes to get to what he's talking about. Yeah, I could do that too sometimes. Just a couple of washes of that, Rick. Yeah. So did you ever see when they heat up metal and it turns like that bluish color? I think if you hit this with Payne's Gray, it kind of does has the same effect. So I've got a little bit here in my dish, added a little bit of thinner to it. I think I'm going to need to add a little more because this looks just a bit too thick. I don't want this to come out as a black lacquer on there. But I think this is probably going to be like the best option. Love mixing paint. Like the highlight of my day. All right, I'm going to start with this guy here. So let me get him in the camera. I know it looks a little dark. But just wait. Just wait. Because we can always wash this off too. All right, now I'm gonna put my paintbrush in my mouth, and I'm gonna grab my heater here. Sorry for the noise. We're just gonna heat this up a little bit, get this to dry really quick, and then you'll see what I mean about that color. All right. Put this paintbrush down so I can actually talk to you here. So see how that wash, it does look black, but it's got that bluish tint to it. And it just looks really sooty and dirty. And this has always been my go-to for these kind of like metal parts. I just think it works out great. What do you guys think? What's your opinion? I can always change it and do something different on this guy over here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is plastic, but I believe this one here is metal. And they've both been covered with a gray primer. We did that last week. Yeah, thanks, Al. I love Payne's Gray. It's not one of those paints that cover well. So when it dries, it looks like a wash just on its own. And it has that blue. The closest thing that I can relate this color to, and it reminds me every time, is like a midnight blue. And when I hear midnight blue, the first thing I think of is like Superman's hair, how it's black but has those blue fades in it. So this paint always brings me back to Superman, and I absolutely love it. And you could see I didn't do much other than paint it on as a real thin wash, and it just looks grimy and sooty. And I'm happy with it just like that. I'm not going to change it or do anything else with it. I'm going to leave it just like that. I know, Bob. I missed it on that piece, and I'm not sure why. I thought I had it, and apparently I didn't. I know that I got it off the top, or I think I did. No, I didn't. You can still see it there too. There is a line. I'm not sure if I just couldn't get the sandpaper in there or the sanding stick in there. I don't know what I did, Bob. But yep, you're right. It's still there. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn it that way so it faces the front of the building, and then maybe you won't see it as prominent, or maybe the other side. Let's check the back side. Yeah, the back side, you can't see it as prominent, so I'll just leave it at that, and we'll call that a day. I think I'm just going to go and paint the other one the same color, unless anybody has any other ideas that I could try. Paint palettes are available in the art supply store. Yes. Also, paper palettes are available. Yeah. My favorite paint gadget. I don't know if I have a favorite paint gadget. I can tell you. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm going to spill this all over, but my favorite cleaning thing, and I know. What's his name has one of these because I've seen it. Dwight has one of these. The cleaning tray. And it's going to fade out because of the thing. I'll have to show it to you on the other camera. Dwight has one. I know Dwight uses it and he loves it. Try Payne's Gray. That's what this is. That's Payne's Gray. Rail Artist. That's it right there. Just washed. It's watered down. That's it. The original item might have a seam or ridgeway. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. You mean in actual real life. Yeah. Like that color, metallic shine for sure. Yep. Dwight says, yeah, I love it. Yep. So, all right, I'm just going to quickly go over this other one. As a matter of fact, I think before that, I'm just going to water this down a little more. Get it more like a wash. And then you'll see what Payne's Gray really can do. Make sure I get the underside. And in the little swoop. All right, firing up the heater. Sorry for the noise. Woo. Hot hands, hot hands. All right, so this way, when you thin it out more, you can see it has more of that bluish tone to it that I was talking about. And that's not all the way dry, so. But it looks like, all right, I'm going to pull this off because it's in the way. But it looks gritty, it looks dirty. Not so bad. Stormy Sky, welcome in. Good to see you. We're painting up some of the accessories to go onto the model. All right, so I'm going to jump onto this last one that we have here, and that's the palette, and we'll get that started up. Try that on the brick chimney. Listen, hey, try that. Do you think, who said that? Bill said that. Bill, do you think I should water it down a little more or just all right, so here's what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I want to do this little top piece that's up there. That little fennel guy, I'm going to do him first. Gosh, I should have put my glasses on. Hang on. Got to get my spectacles. Need my lights too. So that's going to come out as a wash. That's actually pretty good. Oh, look, there's grading up there. I didn't know that. Look at that. Didn't know that. All right, so it looks like I might have hit the brick there. Let me see if this will. Nope, I was trying to. You know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Hold on. Wipe off that little dot there for a second. Oh, now I knocked the whole thing off the stick. Push that back on. All right, hold on, because I want to do. I had a little bit of alcohol just sitting on the side here, and I'm wondering if I paint this just really quick with a little bit of alcohol, if I can get the Payne's Gray to run. That's the trick. I doubt it. I have a feeling it's just going to sit there. Well, it's definitely running, but it's running down the entire thing. No! All right, hold on. See if we can get some of this out. It's too much. I think it's doing the job, but I think it's too much. Oh. You know, this may have saved the day. And I'm not even worried about getting it in every single crack. As long as it gets on there, I'm going to call that as done because it's not going to be uniformed anyway. All right, heater time. Send it out and use it as a wash. Yeah. All right, let me get rid of this. Okay. Not bad. It's in there. I think it probably needs a couple more coats just to make an impact, but I mean, it definitely made the bricks look dirty. It made them look a little aged. So I will give you that. It was a good thought. I think I'm gonna go over it a little more. Not right now, but before I put it on the building, I think you're onto something. We just have to refine it a bit. You know, I'm too damn curious to know the difference. Wait a second. All right, so here's what I did. I dipped a little bit in the black and I painted it on. That's too much, but it's okay. Then I went back and I dipped it in a little bit of alcohol. And I think that's going to do it better. Let's do it again. Well, that's too much. That's way too much. Hang on. Clean the brush. Okay. A little bit of alcohol. Always a challenge to get this settled in joints. Yeah. Yeah. The effect looks good to me. Okay. Yep. Looks like many old chimneys. I might go to bed early because tomorrow morning I'm going fishing for the first time in a long time. Be right back from chat because I got to find my rod and get it ready. That is awesome. It's been many, many years since I've been fishing. So, yeah, great pastime. Okay, put there. Some alcohol. So I definitely think coming back with the alcohol second is what forces it down into the grooves. Might as well just put that up. All right. A little bit of heat. All right, gang, I think we might have learned something tonight. That's not so shabby. I mean, it doesn't stand out like it's not individual lines painted, but even where it clumped up and the paint just stuck there, looks like a dirty old chimney to me. I'll take it. Thanks for the suggestion, Bill. Awesome. All right. Last thing we got to paint. And then this thing's going to be hard. I know that. I can tell you that right off the bat because I got so many different little grooves and things to get into. And we only got 15 minutes left. Whoa. We don't need that much. Not much at all. It took me so long to figure out that you don't need that much pigment when painting. I would always glob up the paint in my tray and then wind up painting this really tiny piece and then have all this paint left over because I just didn't judge it right. And it took me so long to figure out that judgment. And even still, this is way too much paint for that little tiny part. But you also have to factor in how much thinner you use, because some of this may just dry up before you're even done painting. So, all right, I'm not even sure where to begin with this, so we're just going to pick a spot and go at it. And I can already tell you this is going to take like 3 or 4 coats. And I think I did it too thin. This is just one of those colors that doesn't work well with when you paint it. What's funny is I have a connection to this color now that I'm looking at it. This is one of the first paints that I painted with back when I did my very first building. And I still remember that. That's Willie's Country Store. I believe this is what I used for the, not sure if it was the roof. No, it was all the wooden pieces because Willie's Country Store was in the process of being expanded. That was it. And there was a section that they were building, and all of that framing and stuff needed to be painted a wood color. All right, real quick. Well, folks, you're always welcome over here in SD, Ohio to go fishing. Thanks, buddy. I'm so tired. Well, go grab some rest, White. Don't let me keep you here, bud. You got a show to do to Sunday, or is it Saturday? I was helping unload the wife's car, so absent for a few moments. No problem, Bob. No problem. Any goodies come out of the car for you, Bob? Now, I do try and follow most people, in the modeling community, and especially, our model railroaders. But I have to admit, this little heater trick I actually learned from watching the YouTube show Tested. That's with Adam Savage. If you remember, Adam Savage was the goofy guy from MythBusters. So every so often they have a project where they're painting some cosplay or some sort of animation or animatronic thing, and he's the one that taught me to get one of these little things, these little heaters, to heat up your paint. Supposedly, it works great with spray paint. Even though spray paint is flammable, I believe only the propellant. No, that's not true. I'm not going to say that, because I've seen people spray paint and then set spray paint on fire. So, no, I'm not going to say it's just the propellant. Don't take my word for that. So this thing's going to take many, many, many coats to, sorry, I keep going off camera here because I need to bring it close to me in order to see it. So I'm basically just layering everything, heating it up, then coat, then heating it, then coating, then heating it. And it is building. It's getting there. Not a bad palette. Not the cleanest. But like the Christmas trees, we can always find the best viewed angle, like right there, somewhat. And point the bad section to the back wall and just leave it at that. I can always go back and clean it up later. I think I'm going to leave that at that. I'm happy with all of the rest of those items. I do have to figure out exactly where to put them on our building here. Let me zoom out. So I think what's going to happen is the pallet will obviously go on the dock. I'm thinking this little guy here, I'm covering him up so you can't see it. There we go. This guy here, I think I'm going to put out of the smokestack here. And then the chimney, I believe, is going to go up at the top up here. And I don't know if I'm going to use this other chimney or this other smokestack. I don't know. I feel like, and then remember, we still have to put the crane up here on top of the second thing. So it relates to getting the stuff from the dock into that door. So those things, hey, maybe we'll finish those. I think I'm done with the painting as far as this building goes. The only thing that I want to do is weather. I don't want to weather up the building so much because I think the building looks good. But I do want to weather up the roof and do some stuff with the roof and get that all done. These roofs I think are good. Even down here, the dock, I might add some streaks of stuff just to make that look good. But definitely the roof I want to weather. And And I think what I'm going to do is try and finish that up on Sunday's show, because I don't think I'm going to have time between then and now. I'm booked up tomorrow. I might have some time tomorrow. I might do some tomorrow. But tomorrow evening, I know I'm booked up. Sunday is my daughter's Bella's birthday. She will be 6 years old. So I'll have her during the day. And then Sunday night, I'll be back with you guys. Dundas Junction just came in. Good to see you, James. We're just about wrapping it up here. So, yeah, so let's go over to the main camera here so we can do our outro. So, yeah, I'll wait until Sunday. I'll see if I can do some of it tomorrow. If not, we'll wait until Sunday and we'll finish that up. Also have to, again, do the sign. I might just hold off on the sign until I get a good idea of what I want to call this place. And then we'll call that quits. And then we'll start a new project after that. So we at least have we're at the finishing line. We're almost there. But yeah, I will see you guys on Sunday again. Thank you, moderators, for being there and helping me out with chat. I apologize that I didn't get a chance to look at a lot of things in chat. Rick, where did you get the heat gun? Thomas, I got it probably on Amazon. I think I got it as a excuse me. It came in a set with a little box of short things of heat shrink tubing. So if you do a search for it, look for like heat shrink tubing gun, and you'll see it. They're not expensive. They're like anywhere between like, I don't know, $6 to $15. They're not bad at all. And it's nothing more than a very small glorified hairdryer. If you have a hairdryer at home, I would suggest just using the hairdryer. This way you don't have to buy anything. So leave it at that. All right, guys, I'm going to roll the outro. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Right over there is going to be another video of mine. Down in the corner over there is going to be one of my playlists. And right below me is that subscribe, and always thumbs up and like, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I lost my mouse. See you on Sunday.